Good morning, my lovelies, my beauties, my friends. My name is Christina and welcome to my channel. If you are new here, thank you so much for clicking on this video. I really hope that you will subscribe, stick around, take a chance on hearing some things that I have to say. And if you are a returning subscriber, y'all already know, y'all are my babies. So today I'm going to do a video telling you guys about why I dreaded my hair and why I have dreadlocks. This video is highly requested. I get asked all the time why I have dreads. I have people messaging me all the time saying that they want to get dreads, and it's just so hard to explain to people via a message or whatever, but this situation is very near and dear to my heart. I got dreadlocks for a very deep and spiritual reason. It had nothing to do with a hairstyle. It had nothing to do with status quo or a fashion statement or anything like that. So yeah, let's get into it. Now, I do want to start this off with a little disclaimer. I'm pretty sure I will get some hate on this video. I am expecting it. I hope that I don't, but I am expecting it. I want to start off by saying that before I got my dreads, I never knew about the cultural appropriation movement. Never even heard of it. Maybe I just come from a day and an era or a time that I'd never even heard of it. I actually got a message from somebody on Instagram a while back, and the girl was telling me how I should brush my dreads out because of cultural appropriation and all that, and I had to look it up. I really did not know what it was. Now, I will say that I respect the cultural appropriation movement because I understand that people are passionate about their cultures and things that they believe that has come out of their culture and all that. And I don't mean any disrespect to anybody. I have respect for all cultures, all ethnicities, all races, all backgrounds. And I love each and every one of you guys. Now, I will be honest with you. If I did know about the cultural appropriation movement before I got my dreads, I would have still gotten my dreads because my dreads had nothing to do with a culture or anything. It was a deep spiritual thing between me and God. And, it had nothing to do with anybody else. I will also say that if I had to be put in a category, because we know America, we love to categorize people, I would definitely be put in the culture appreciation movement because I appreciate every culture for everything. And I think that our world is beautiful and that we need each culture and each moving part to continue to be beautiful. So yeah, let's get into it. Back in 2014, I hurt my back. I know you guys have heard me talk about it before. I won't go too deep into that, but I will tell you guys that when I hurt my back, I fell into a deep, dark depression. Now, anybody that's ever dealt with chronic pain before, you probably know what I'm talking about. When you live every day, every second, everything that you do with a pain, I mean, even if it's a pain in your elbow, right? A pain that never goes away, a pain that wakes you up in the middle of the night, it hurts. It hurts when you sit on the toilet. It hurts when you're cooking dinner. It hurts if you sit on the swing. It hurts if you're trying to watch TV, if you're trying to read a book, if you're trying to drive a car. No matter what you're doing, the pain never lets up. It hurts all the time. It's exhausting and it gets in your head, okay? I started having the thoughts of, my life is never going to be the same. I'm never going to be able to do normal things. I've always been a very, very active person. I am the first person to jump on a swing at the park before my children. I am the mom that goes ziplining. I work out. I go jogging. I ride bikes. I'm just an active person. And when I had this back pain, I could not push my son on the swing without being on the floor for 3 days, crying in pain. And my life had changed drastically. And when I fell into this depression, I started having a lot of really sad thoughts about myself. So I won't get into that either. But looking back at it now, and in that time, it was really, really hard. So yes. Now, before any of this happened, I cannot tell you guys that I loved myself. that I had a lot of self-love, right? I had a lot of false love, a lot of fake love for myself. You know, I had a, let's dye your hair and get your nails done and your tan done and all this stuff, and try to be pretty, try to be what society thinks that you're supposed to be, try to please everybody and make everybody happy and be happy. But deep down inside, I didn't have a real connection with myself like I do today. So I'll just fast forward to the day that it was laid on my heart to get dreads. Now, this happened to be the very first day. This was in 2016. I've had my dreads over 2.5 years now. In 2016, the very first day that my back was not hurting, I was pain-free. I was getting ready to go to church with my children. I was standing in the bathroom and I was doing my hair and my makeup, and I was so excited because I could hold my hands up and I was able to do my hair without, you know, being in excruciating pain. And I spent 2 hours getting ready to go to church. And I looked in the mirror, and when I looked in the mirror, I saw these things in my hair that looked like dreads. And I thought, but I just ran my fingers through it. I didn't give it a second thought other than, wow, that's what I would look like with dreads. Never thought of it before. I don't have any friends that have dreadlocks. I mean, I do now, but back then I didn't have any friends that had dreadlocks. I didn't know anybody like that. You know, I'm a 30-something-year-old mom, you know, it's not like I'm, you know, hanging out at the reggae clubs or anything. And I'm like, yeah, this would be cool. Let's get some locks, dude. It was nothing like that for me. Right. So, I remember my son came into the bathroom and he was like, Mommy, come play with me, come play with me. And I was like, I'm getting ready for church. And I instantly had this thought and this like profound like revelation, like, girl, for the last 2 years, all you've been doing is begging God to get you out of pain so you could play with your son. Like, all you wanted to do. And the very first day your back is not hurting, you're spending 2 hours doing your hair and getting ready. And I just thought, what am I doing? So I put everything down and I went and played with my son for 30 minutes before I went to church. Now, all this was building on me, right? I had this deep, dark depression. I had this weird moment where I looked in the mirror and my hair looked like I had dreads. You know, I spent all this time getting ready on my very first day, not hurting. My son wanted to play with me. And it was just like all these things started building. And then I went to church that night. And the pastor's sermon was on us being dirt. Now, pause. No matter what your beliefs are, I respect everybody's beliefs, and I hold my beliefs and my faith near and dear to my heart, right? There is nothing that anybody can say, and nobody can disagree that when we all die, we go to dirt, right? Whether you are cremated, whether you're put into a casket, whether you God forbid, your body is somewhere, I don't know. All of our bodies end up turning back to dirt, right? And the pastor's sermon was about how we came from dirt and how we will return to dirt. And I was like, and he was like saying, like, we're nothing but dirt. But how much time do we spend making our dirt look pretty? How much time did you spend tonight making sure your dirt looked pretty to come in here? And boy, I was like what? Like it was like God was speaking right to me. And I don't know what it was, but the lady that was sitting next to me, I said, I'm going to dread my hair up. And she said, what? Because the thing that I did know was that if I stopped brushing my hair, and that if I did all this stuff, that, it would be a journey, like it would be a dreadlock journey. And I just knew that that's what I needed to do. Well, then after church, I told my husband, I said, I want to dread my hair up. And he was like, what? He was like, well, whatever makes you happy. Like, and listen, my family members, some of them were like, we love you no matter what. But some of them were like, you're crazy. I mean, I had people on Facebook telling me, why would you mess up your beautiful hair like that? And to me, that fueled it even more. Like, it's not messing it up. I'm making a sacrifice. Like, I'm getting ready to make a sacrifice because I wanted to go through something, right? My dreadlock journey was a journey to self-love. It was cutting back all the pieces of myself that I spent so much of my life trying to doctor up and trying to be beautiful and trying to go to the hair salons and get the right hair and get the right this and get the right that. And I even went on a no makeup stage for a long time. Y'all pop some pictures up here where when I was going through my dreadlock journey, I quit wearing makeup too. I just completely let it all go. I dreaded my hair up. I let it all go. I quit brushing my hair. I quit dyeing it. I quit spending time on it. I quit putting on makeup. I just focused on getting better, on my children, and learning to love me, learning to love the real me, learning to love my hair and appreciate it for what it did. And during my dreadlock journey, I paid attention to all the lumps and bumps and all the crazy things and just appreciated my hair for what it was doing, and quit focusing on, trying to be beautiful by society's standards and look a certain way. And during the time, I went through some really ugly phases, but I loved it because it was teaching me something about myself. It was teaching me that, looking beautiful is not the most important thing. Being a beautiful person is the most important thing. And going through my dreadlock journey taught me that. And so when people message me all the time and say, oh, I want to do my dreads, I want to get dreads like yours or whatever, I always tell people it's a process because, I didn't get my dreads for a fashion statement. I didn't get them to look a certain way. They didn't always look like this. Now people tell me that my dreads are beautiful, but for a long time, they didn't look like this. They looked crazy. And it was just deep, and it was real, and it was raw. And, a lot of my friends that were with me during that time, they know, like, it was more than a hairstyle, and it still is more than a hairstyle. Now, I don't know how long I'm going to keep my dreads. I may keep them another month. I may keep them another lifetime. But right now, I'm so grateful for what they have taught me. I'm proud of myself for going through this. I'm proud of myself for putting my vanity on the back seat and learning to love myself, all of myself. And that's what I had to do to go through that. I've had people make comments on my video of my dreadlock journey timeline and say, wow, it seems like your confidence has boosted since you've gotten your dreads. It has. It has. And it's nothing to do with the hairstyle. People judge me because of my hair. Some people hate it, but it doesn't matter because during that time, I did blossom. I did grow. I did, love myself. Not love my blonde streaks and my luscious blonde curls and my makeup and all that stuff. I learned to love me, right? Also, during that process, I've learned a lot of other things. I've learned what it feels like to be judged by your looks for no reason. I've had a lot of people treat me really bad because of my hair. And, it's opened my eyes to what other people go through that get judged by the way that they look. And it makes me more empathetic to them, and it makes me understand, and it has taught me to see things even more differently. I have never been a person that has judged people by the way they look. I've never been like that. I wasn't raised with a silver spoon in my mouth. I'm very cultured. I've, lived in all type of environments. So I've always just loved and connected with all types of people. But when I went through my dreadlock journey, and still to this day, I learned on a different level, right? Because then I was experiencing nasty looks and smart, snarky comments and disgusting DMs, and all because of my hair. So, and I don't say that for anybody to feel sorry for me by any means. I made a choice to get my dreads. There's a lot of people that are judged by things that they can't change, and they don't have a choice, and that is incredibly disappointing and heartbreaking. But I can relate in a small, tiny way. So I hope you guys like this video about why I got my dreadlocks. Yeah, I always say that it was deep, it was spiritual, it was something, a connection between me and God, something that I went through, and this is where I'm at, and this is why I got them, and I do love them. They feel like touching a broom. It's definitely not the kind of hair you're gonna run your fingers through, you know, but they're mine and they mean something. And so yeah, I hope you guys like this video. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. If you have any questions or anything like that, I would love to hear from you. And yeah, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.